All righty, everybody. Welcome to Talking Real Estate with Champions Real Estate Team here at Berkshire Hathaway Home Services Ambassador Real Estate Company. My name is Mark Wayne II, team leader at Champions Real Estate Team. And joining me today, as always, is Russ Williams with Williams Mortgage. So we try to jump on here every Wednesday around the lunch hour, give you kind of a recap of what's gone on over the last week in the real estate market here in the Omaha metro area and surrounding areas as well. So let's jump right into it and go from there. So let's see where we're at here. So as far as last week numbers go, we have 332 new listings. That's up about 50 listings from last week. And then we had about 332 new contracts written. So basically those houses that came on the market basically got contracts written on them in the last week is what we're kind of seeing. So that's up, probably another 30 new contracts from the previous week. And sold homes is kind of indicative of what's gone on over the last 60 days or so. In the market. So sold homes basically were contracts written a while ago. So that stays about the same from what we've seen week to week. Giving you kind of a snapshot view of what's actually available on the market here. Let me share another screen with you. Here we go. So this is basically the entire Omaha Lincoln MLS. So I did take out no-show listings. So basically what that means is they're active on our MLS. The public can't see them, but us as agents can see them. They're getting the houses ready. In that regard. So there are 1,270 listings active here in the Omaha, Lincoln, MLS and surrounding areas. And then as far as homes for sale in Douglas and Sarpy County, kind of broke it down even farther. So about half of those homes active available to see are in Douglas, Sarpy County. So it was actually exactly 600 today. We had 306 existing homes to see today, and then 294 new construction spec homes, homes that are in the process of being built or model homes in that regard. So we're sitting about 1 month supply of inventory. What that means to the general public, basically, that's if we didn't have any more houses come on the market, we would be out of houses to sell or to look at in 1 month. Average sale price is up about 262. It's about 15% above this time last year. So what we're seeing obviously is pressures in the supply and demand. I read a couple contracts this last week. They're pushing anywhere from $20,000 to $30,000 above list price, in that 300 kind of ballpark, 400 ballpark, and we're still seeing a lot of multiple offers. So the thing that we got to do is basically educate our clients to come in and make strong offers. How can we basically, our goal is essentially to get a seat at the table with that seller. The last contract I wrote, there's 15 offers on houses. So what can we do to get you into that? And that's something we can talk on a personal basis, individual basis on, what's your availability, what you're able to do. But happy to sit down and chat with you, do a Zoom call with anybody about the different strategies that we have here. Because my background's in coaching, coach hockey for 15 years until I have a 3-year-old and a 3-month-old. So kind of got a little crazy in that regards. But that's kind of my background. I want you to know exactly what you're doing when you're buying a house, and even what's the next step after you buy the house. What's 5-year plan? My goal is not just to know, let's get a contract written, sell you a house. Great. Thank you very much. Go on to the next one. I want to be your real estate resource for years to come. So that's my goal and help build that wealth. Because I think real estate's I know Russ and I talk every week about, he's hugely bullish on the real estate market, but that's something that we look at is how can we build that generational wealth to build passive income and put you in a plan in place to do that. So that's kind of a good rundown of what's going on in the marketplace. Homes, I know sellers are thinking, it's a seller's market. I'm just going to throw my house out there, and I'm going to get multiple offers and get a huge, uptick on price, and not do anything to the house. Well, what we're seeing is those houses that aren't, fresh paint, carpet, things of that sort are sitting a little bit longer than those ones that are ready to go. The other thing we're also looking at from a selling perspective is doing a pre-inspection of the house. So doing a home inspection before you even put it on the market. That's something that gives that buyer a warm and fuzzy that, hey, they may choose not to do a home inspection, give you a solid, strong offer, and kind of have that warm and fuzzy that, maybe there's, they know what they're getting into in that regard. So as a buyer, I still very highly recommend doing a home inspection, even coupling that with a home warranty potentially to cover that. Because if you're paying top dollar, you may deplete some of your cash reserves to get into that house. Well, if you're buying an older home, within the next year, if the furnace or something, something like that goes out, that's a big expense. So we want to make sure that you're taken care of and give you all the options to get to that point. But I guess we'll jump in and talk with Russ here on what the mortgage rates are doing in that regard. So How we doing, Russ?
Doing pretty well, Mark. Another beautiful week, and I'm still bullish on real estate.
All right.
Yeah, Mark, if people aren't going to be buying a home, what are they going to be doing? Going to be renting.
Yeah.
It's kind of interesting. The most recent data I've seen is that the median age for first-time home buyers is 33, approaching 34 years, which means if you look back 33 or 34 years ago, what was the population doing at that point in time, and did we see an increase in new babies? And we did. If you go back into the 80s, 33 years ago, what would that be? 1988, thereabouts, somewhere in that range. We saw more children born in 89, 1990, 91. So we're going to continue seeing high demand for real estate. And to my point, they're either going to be buying homes or renting. I think you ought to buy the home at today's price as opposed to next year's price, because new inventory coming on the market, that new construction isn't keeping up with demand. Nationally, there are roughly 1.2 million homes for sale, but the number of new buyers coming into the market exceeds 10, 12 million people. So I think it's a good thing. Real estate's going to be a great investment, whether it be owner-occupied or rentals. I'm very bullish. But you didn't ask me about that. You asked me about mortgage rates. And
all right.
Last week I'd said that I thought mortgage rates were going to tick up to roughly the 3% level for the week ending February 25th. I was off by 0.3%. They were 2.97. I said this week that the rates over the last week would be closer to 3% or a little bit more, and they're just 3.02% for the week ending March 4th. As we've talked about, Mark, every Thursday morning, the Federal Home Loan Mortgage Corporation, also called Freddie Mac, releases their primary mortgage market survey for the average rate offered over the previous week to owner-occupied borrowers taking out conventional financing. And so we did see that move up a little bit. I think we might see that soften, maybe closer to 3% or a little bit below for the next week. But I will tell you that given that we're still in the COVID environment, and a year ago now, we were really being surprised with the economy taking a hit as there were lots of shutdowns. We do have some inflation on the horizon that we're going to see interest rates rise. I can just almost guarantee it over the next 60 to 90 days. Now, I do think that's a blip, and I do think we might see that soften a little bit as we get later into the year. But don't wait to buy a house. And the reason for that is home values are not likely to go down over the next year because we have huge demand out there. As we watch what the market's doing today, interest rates are hovering in a general range that would suggest that we don't see any movement expected over the next 24, 48, 72 hours. So if you've not bought a house, give Mark and the team a call, get out there, buy a house, because those valuations are going to rise, and so are interest rates down the road. So buy now. Real estate is a great investment.
Yep. I was just showing properties yesterday on a listing, a ranch listing, and basically like it was listed at 310, about 3,100 square feet. And the other houses that were in the neighborhood, the highest house was at 297. And that sold back in December, I believe it was December or late November. And it was like 3,700 square feet. So even though it was a bigger house, sold for 297, this house, when I talked to my clients, I'm like, I felt it was high, but they're trying to set the bar of where the market is this spring. They're looking at it that, okay, there's a lot bigger demand out there for this type of house. Hi, honey. Sorry, I have my 3-month-old hanging out in the room with us. But so daddy daycare starts today. Mom went back to work. So, but yeah, so looking at that, my clients, advising them, I was like, it's $20,000 above the highest price home that sold back in December because nothing had sold, the last couple months. And I'm like, and they're like, well, how do you attest to that? I'm like, well, that's just them. Let's set the bar for the neighborhood. And then ultimately, let's see if the appraiser is going to go for it. And, while I was at the house, there was 4 other agents with 4 other couples. And that was at noon yesterday. And the house just hit the market at 8 a.m. So just in that 30-minute window, I was there were 4 other people. And I'm sure that house probably sold for more, and crossing their fingers. But that's the thing you're looking at is, do you like it? Does it make sense for you? And talking it over with my clients, we didn't end up writing an offer just for other circumstances and just the big picture out of it. But that's what we're seeing in the marketplace is these houses are coming up, especially in spring. And us as agents, we're trying to, and even lenders and appraisers is trying to put a big picture to it that they're trying to set the bar. Where's the neighborhood going? And like you said, if you're going to wait, you're going to be out of the market. And it could price you out of the market I can think of the Tommy Boy quote, you're either growing or you're dying, you're those that wait are, just that, they're waiting. So it's one of those things that if you're seriously considering buying a house, now is the time. And I'm not just saying that because I'm in the real estate industry and want to sell you a house, but it's going to cost you, a bunch if you wait just another year, even 6 months of waiting if interest rates go up. Because you and I know, as interest rates, if they go up 1%, you lose 10% of your purchasing power. And that's not even accounting for the appreciation of how houses are going up right now. Now we don't have a crystal ball, and I was talking to another agent that we wrote the contract on. He and I were just talking for about 20 minutes after the fact. Hi, you want to talk too? Yeah. So, but just where's it going to go? And rents are going up, and so your mortgage payment's going up, rent's going up, and just where's the supply, where are these people going to go? Because I think as these interest rates tick up a little bit, it's going to lessen or soften that buyer market because it's going to price people out of it. Those people that are looking under the 200, 250, they might not get the house that they want. So they're going to go to the sidelines. Well, then they're going to go rent. That rent's going to go up, so it's kind of an evolving door, of how this is all going to play out. And so that's just trying to give that information. I don't know if you have any other insight you want to throw in on that. That's the thing that I'm, big picture that we're looking at. I don't know what kind of thoughts you have on.
Yeah, I think some things you just said there are very important for people that are in the market to buy or sell a house. Is you need to have a real estate team, a real estate professional working with you that has a plan for how they want to proceed. What does bid over ask mean? And you need to be familiar with that. What are ways and things you can do to make your offer stand out? Again, I can't tell you how bullish I am on real estate just because we can't keep up with new construction, the new amount of demand that's going to be entering the marketplace for the foreseeable future. So real estate prices are not going to be softening anytime soon, folks, unless we have some unexplained catastrophe worldwide. People have to have a place to live. Mom and dad likely aren't going to want to keep the kid in the basement playing Fortnite and leaving their socks on the floor. They're going to want those kids to get out. So get in touch with the team, get in touch with Mark and his team, and put a plan together on how to win a bid. And stay the course. If you don't win the first one, you'll learn from that. Keep making offers. There will be a home out there for you.
So, all right. Well, I think my time limit's getting there with the 3-month-old, but love to help you guys. I did share our screen here. So this is our championsrealestateteam.com. Basically, you have all the updated information, active listings that are out there. And feel free to give any of us here at Champions Real Estate Team a holler. We're happy to help you. And sorry about the background noise, but I guess we will see everyone next week. And thank you, Russ, for joining us. And take care.